obesity? Well, in many people's opinion, this problem could be solved with, well, eating less. Because in the end, the more we eat, the fatter we get. Hate to break it to all those fat-phobic people out there. It's not that simple. In some people, genes can be responsible for 70 to 80% of the predisposition to be overweight. Hence, while fat-phobic people obviously haven't informed themselves enough, not that hate on anyone could be explained by enough research, they are often right in one thing. Burning more of the fuel makes us thinner. However, while Martin from next door will tell you to just step on the treadmill, I will tell you that there might be a more easier way. To do so, we first need to understand how your body burns the energy you ingested while eating the chocolate bar earlier today. The sugar, glucose, will be used in glycolysis, from where it is converted to pyruvate, which is then used in the link reaction and the Krebs cycle to produce ATP, your cell's energy currency via substrate level phosphorylation, as well as these molecules, NADH and FADH2. The reducing agents. While we have produced some ATP already, the main gain will occur in this step of cell respiration, oxidative phosphorylation. Located on the inner membrane of your mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells, is the electron transport chain and the phosphorylation apparatus. Or NADH and FADH2 will donate electrons to different complexes in this chain. Electron transport takes place, and while the electron slowly loses its energy, this energy is used to transport protons through the complexes into the intermembrane space of the mitochondria. Afterwards, the de-energized electron combines with oxygen and diffuses away with water. If you ever ask yourself why you breathe, this is why. The protons in the intermembrane space, however, create an electrochemical gradient, a proton motive force, and if possible, the protons will want to move back into the cytosol away from the other positive charges and towards a lower concentration. And exactly this occurs. The protons can move through the ATP synthase, rotating the protein, resulting in ATP synthesis. More energy currency is created. Okay, so we've established we eat food. Food gets converted into other molecules, which are then used to create a proton gradient for ATP synthesis. If we could increase the rate at which the proton gradient is used, we would need more intermediates. More food needs to be burned. We lose weight. As Martin said, stepping on a treadmill could do the job to burn some calories. However, what essentially just happens is that more ATP is needed by muscle cells. Hence, more protons need to be pumped, so more food is burned. What if I could tell you that we could increase the rate at which this proton gradient is used without exercise? And I'm talking about our fat cells here, human fat cells, which could aid in the treatment against obesity. When you are a baby, or if you are a rodent, you have something called brown fat. Well, recent studies have shown that you have some left even when you're an adult, but the amount is much less. Different from white fat, which is what adipose tissue is made of, brown fat is highly metabolically active, contains many mitochondria and burns massive amounts of energy, with the main role of dissipating energy in cold phases, a process called thermogenesis. This process is thereby enabled through two mechanisms: UCP1 insertion and an increase in metabolic rate. UCP1, or uncoupling protein 1 or thermogenin, is solely found in brown adipose tissue and acts to shortcut oxidative phosphorylation. To do so, UCP1 is inserted into the inner mitochondrial membrane, where it enables the dissipation of the proton motive force through letting protons diffuse through it. This is not what increases heat production. The proton gradient that is dissipated is now missing for ATP production, a life essential function. To fix this, all the upstream metabolic reactions, glycolysis, the link reaction, the Krebs cycle, speed up and occur more frequently to substitute the lost proton gradient. And as they are chemical reactions, all these reactions produce heat as a waste product, increasing body temperature. But how can this help us lose fat? As the rate of metabolic reaction increases, the rate of substrates we use also increases. Hence, the number of calories we burn is higher. Well, that's great, but sadly we are not rats or newborn babies. So how can we get more of this brown fat? Recent studies have indicated that our white adipocytes can actually acquire a brown-like appearance with very beneficial metabolic effects, so-called beige or bright adipocytes. These can thereby be induced via adrenergic stimulation, for example due to prolonged cold exposure, which causes noradrenaline to be released from nerves. Noradrenaline then binds to beta-3 adrenergic receptors on the white adipocytes. The stimulation of this receptor is key to a signaling cascade, which results in cellular changes, including the insertion of UCP1 into the inner mitochondrial membrane of the now beige adipocyte. So, the simplest way to gain more brown fat would be to freeze? No thank you, you might say. You rather step on the treadmill. However, it is not that simple. Studies have managed to use beta-3 adrenergic receptor agonists, hence drugs that can activate the beta-3 adrenergic receptor without nerve stimulation, to induce the signaling cascade that lead to white adipose tissue browning, and thereby found that an elevation of beta-3 adrenergic receptor expression resulted in a significant reduction in body mass due to white adipose tissue browning. While white adipose tissue browning sounds great for losing weight, we have tried something very similar before and it didn't go well. I am talking about dinitrophenol, to some maybe known as the slimming pill that was responsible for many deaths not only from 1933 to 1938, where it was mainly used, but still today. The UK government has proposed to classify the drug as poison starting from October this year. In practice, dinitrophenol inserts into the inner mitochondrial membrane, where it picks up protons from the intermembrane space and transports them to the matrix, therefore also shortcutting oxidative phosphorylation. In fact, the death cause of dinitrophenol is hypothermia. As the body produces more and more heat, it overheats. Enzymes cannot function anymore and the person dies with a fever. I think in the end there's a reason why adults have so little brown fat, and even though it would be a very natural way of inducing a shortcut of the electron transport chain, I don't see why the outcome would be different than with dinitrophenol. Do I therefore think that we should stop researching the use of brown or beige fat in the fight against obesity? I think there is still a lot to come, a treatment with great prospects that needs to be highly controlled and further researched.